A gay cabaret owner and his drag king companion agree to put up a false front so his son can introduce him to his fiance's right-wing moralistic parents.
Yes.
What's more important? I don't know. Acceptance in society or being yourself?
I think our love.
Our love. And we're definitely... we should do a remake.
We should.
All that means we're watching La Cage aux Folles.
Falls.
That one. What he said. La Cage aux Folles in The Birdcage in this episode of Retro vs. Remake.
Retro vs. Remake!
Man, good thing you know French, bro.
Well, I was accosted in a French bathroom one time.
Yeah, that's a crazy story.
Yes.
Maybe for another day.
Yeah, maybe for another day. We should do a remake. But then we'll add a black-white angle into it. Ooh,
Totally.
Saucy. Anyway.
Well, they kind of like switch over. And the one character in the French film is black.
Yes.
The servant, and the other one is like a Puerto Rican guy.
Yeah.
Basically.
Guatemalan.
Oh, Guatemalan.
Guatemalan.
I'm glad you remember all this shit.
Thank you.
All right. Well, getting right.
Welcome to Retro vs. Remake. And that being said.
Welcome to Retro vs. Remake.
Yes. You can see what we've been doing for the past 2 hours.
Oh, we're completely out of practice.
Yeah.
Yeah, what we've been doing for the past few hours is watching football, an American sport. Let's see. This episode we're watching
La Cage aux
Thank
Folles
you.
and The Birdcage.
The Birdcage. 2 films.
2 films set against the prejudiced mind state of the political system that is the government in both French and America, and the yearning to be free and who you are. Anyway.
That's true. Let's see. La Cage aux Folles, also released as Birds of Feather, is a 1978 comedy film. Let's see. Starring.
Yeah, this is... I can't help you with these.
I'll be alright. Let's see. Starring Ugo Tognazzi, Michael Serrault, Claire Moret,
Love her.
Remy Laurent, Michael Galabru, Carmen Scarpita.
Oh, that was Carmen Scarpita?
Carmen Scarpita.
Oh, I didn't...
Where in the world is Carmen Scarpita?
Where in the world is Carmen Scarpita?
Let's see. Louis
France.
Maneri, Benny Luke, Liana Del Balzo, and yeah, that's it. Liana Del Balzo.
That's correct.
The film was directed by Edward Molinaro.
Molinaro!
Let's see, with the screenplay by Marcelo Danan, Eduardo Molinaro, and it's adapted from the 1973 play.
Yes.
Jean Poy's 1973 play of the same name.
Yes.
So that's that film.
That film. And then the ever famous, that everyone's a beloved film,
Yeah.
The Birdcage.
The Birdcage.
Directed by Mike Nick from 1995. Let me see how far I could go on this. Directed by Mike Nichols, starring the incomparable late great Robin Williams.
Yep.
Newark, New Jersey's own Nathan Lane. Gene, get out of my way, Hackman.
Yeah.
Some shockingly 2-time Oscar winner Diane Weiss. In his second best role ever, Hank Azaria.
Wow.
And who else? I'm sure there's other people. The son.
Callista
Val.
Flockhart.
Oh yeah, Mrs. Indiana Jones, Callista Flockhart, and forgettable Val.
Yeah, and it looks like a Christian Baranski, who I guess is in some sort of supporting role. Yeah, the film is a '96 film.
Oh, is it 96? Son of a
They
bitch.
filmed it in '95. They released it in '96.
Son of a bitch.
You know how it goes. And it is also adapted from
Le Cage aux Folles.
Thank you. Yeah. So Isn't that cool?
Yes, isn't that cool? And I'm not gonna lie to you, these are basically the same movie.
They are
This is shockingly similar.
effectively the same movie.
Yes.
What's your first experience with either film?
So I have a two-prong attack.
Okay.
So number one, The Birdcage was huge. Mm-hmm. I remember seeing the Birdcage preview in the movie theater, and it was, let me say, the trailer itself, how can I put this? In 2023 terms?
Yeah.
By today's standards, tasteless. Tasteless. It was, when I first saw it, whatever, and it came out, I saw it, I thought it was really funny, I thought it was really good. It also wasn't as much what they played it up, like, they played it up very much for advertising-wise of, like, gay, isn't it funny?
Yeah.
Like that was really basically the selling point of the movie. And it's not that at all.
No.
Like it's much more heartfelt and real as far as the movie goes. Yes, there is that of like the flamboyancy of everything. Yes,
Sure.
but it's also endearing, whatever. But so when I was in high school, I went to an all-boys Catholic high school.
Same
yes,
as me.
so as you. Same as you. But our sports team were the Falcons.
Okay.
So in my junior year, they were opening into my senior year. They obviously we've had every single gay joke in my school that you could possibly think of. Yes, it's par for the course. Like we don't have stairs because fairies could fly. We have pink water fountains. There's a lot of them, and in the similar vein that were hilarious. But when they were renamed, we got a new gym that they rebuilt, and they were like, what should we name it? And they had a contest, and basically they sent it out to the student body. And legitimately, without any irony, they were like, since we're the Falcons, we should call it the Birdcage.
Right.
And no one seemed to see, I was like, can we not?
Right.
Like, listen, I'm all for like the pride, but you don't just put a kick me sign on and be like, fuck it, let's go. Like, so they wanted to name it the Birdcage. I was like, call it the Cliff. I don't know. Something else. The Nest?
The Falcon's Nest.
The Falcon's Nest? Something.
Yeah.
So that's what pops in my head every time.
It doesn't help you. Like,
it doesn't at all.
You're caged at that point. That's not good for you.
No, it doesn't at all. It's like, you keep the Falcons in the cage. It's like, I don't know. How about the glove? I don't know what
I love that.
The falcon or
Put the
glove.
hood on that shit.
Yes, like go to medieval times. There's a falcon going around, and
I think you showed me the video. It was Big Boy, the rapper.
Yes.
With his owl.
Yes.
Which is crazy. It's just like has an owl.
He has an owl
in the recording studio.
You're like, all right, fucking Big Boy. Like, and you thought Andre 5000 was the eccentric one. No, he is not.
Nah.
Well, he is. Let's be honest.
He's still the eccentric one.
Are you Robin Hood?
I've seen that man wear a kilt.
Yes, he's still it. So, and then the aux Folles, I didn't know that was a remake. I didn't know The Birdcage was a remake of it.
Yeah.
My parents told me, and I was kind of like, okay, whatever. And then when I was in college, for those of you that are my age or around my age, if you remember this certain Saturday Night Live skit, it's a precursor to Ron Burgundy in Anchorman. Robert Goulet. He used to do, and Robert Goulet was a singer, a Broadway singer he was in Camelot, excellent voice. We mentioned him in our last podcast, Robert Goulet's All Cajun Christmas.
It's a great bit.
It's a great bit, but he was known as The Voice, and mustache, he was the bad guy in Naked Gun 2.5, and Will Ferrell did an impression of him, which was so over the top, and he's constantly, everything he did was singing, Goulet! And then he'd finish every sentence with Goulet! And I became obsessed with this. And for Halloween one year, I was Robert Goulet, and I did not break character for the whole night. Like drinking, we got into a fight with people, and Robert Goulet, at the time, fast forward like 3 months, while we're crazy about Goulet, doing it all the just crazy about Goulet. He was in a revival on Broadway of aux Folles as the senator.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was like, yo, we gotta, like, I have to go. And then I was like, it's like $190 when I was, 20 years old. And it's like, well, I could buy a lot of booze with that, so I didn't go. And then my parents saw him in a cafe right after, Robert Goulet, who is now since deceased. And they were like, calling me like, Daniel, I don't want to raise any alarms, but right at the table next to us is Mr. Robert Goulet.
Wow.
And I was like, you could get, if you get me a picture of this, that'll be my birthday and Christmas gift combined. You don't have to get me anything, just that. They did not.
Would have been a hard get at the time.
I know.
But
how many people are accosting Robert Goulet at some restaurant? And he apparently was wearing eyeglasses with lights in them.
What year is this?
2006, maybe?
It would have been a tough ask because, like, at that point, we're still in kind of a digital camera era. So your parents would have had to have either a disposable camera or a digital camera because they wouldn't have had a phone.
That's true.
And even if they could take the photo on their phone, one, they probably still wouldn't have it.
Yeah, and also it is my parents. They probably would have fucked that up.
And it would have been 2 megapixels.
It would have been 2 megapixels. I would not still have it on my Razor.
Yeah.
And also, them figuring out how to take a picture with that camera would have been impossible. I probably would have got a picture of my dad's ball sack looking back at it. But
go back and look at your MySpace photos. Like,
yes.
Can't even recognize yourself.
Oh, MySpace. You know what? They really figured it out early. They figured it out. Everything's not as good as that. Anyway, what are your impressions of these movies?
One, I do want to make a quick note here. When you said Robert Goulet, I was waiting with bated breath. I was like, he could have played almost anyone in the film.
Oh yes, he could have.
But the senator was like, that's
I mean, he was like
casting.
72 at the time,
Makes
or something
sense.
like that.
Makes sense.
But I still remember that. I still remember that promotional poster for it. It's like him, like he's also in Beetlejuice too. He's his investor friend that comes to like, we could do something with this, but he's like sitting there with his stupid like Broadway smile that it's like so obviously like posed, but he's got his hands up.
What? Oh man, who's got the more obnoxious headshots? Broadway people or fucking comedians?
Oh, comedians. Because all of them, comedians they're so stupid and they're always the same. Like I love the ones that like people have. It's like a comedian, but they're like wearing a backwards hat. It's like, why bother taking a picture, man? Just take it on your phone at that point. Who gives? If you're like gonna mail it in, be like, I don't give a fuck.
There's a few guys who like the backwards hat works. Like I want to say, like I don't think his headshot has this, but like Robert Kelly.
Oh
like,
yeah,
his could work, but like that like '90s era, like Dane Cook. Hoodie, backwards baseball cap, and doing this.
And like, ooh, me? My favorite is like the tied up with the microphone cord, with the microphone, with the caution tape over their mouth. Yeah, like, who knows what he's gonna say?
I was actually just thinking of a comedian.
Yes, I think we are thinking of the same one.
Probably. That one. Anytime you have the rubber chicken, I've seen that to this day. The rubber chicken.
Oh yeah, the rubber chicken, especially with women.
Yes.
Women holding the rubber chicken.
Rubber chicken. And even the fucking the arrow.
Oh, I haven't seen the arrow in a long time.
It's been a while. I've seen the rubber chicken more recently.
Yes. You know what's another one that another promotional photos that are horrendous?
Okay.
Are fucking radio.
Yeah,
radio. Like when not only is radio like dead, but when you see like promotional videos, like they're the ugliest people in the world. Always. But then every show, it's like 2 guys and a girl, and every time it's like the 2 guys like acting like doing something, and the woman like because every woman's a mom, like she's gonna wrangle them in.
It's like always you're like 2 of the oldest.
Oh, the oldest who act like they're 22 years old, and you're like, and then you see like on that billboard outside the Lincoln Tunnel, you're like, this is sad.
Yeah. Or they're like, not young, but like middle-aged and a large black woman.
Yes.
They're like, oh, I didn't know she was black.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit.
That's how radio works.
Yeah, with her, and then you're like, she's just, I know she doesn't talk like that.
Yeah.
It's just like job interview voice all the time.
Yeah. I saw a great meme the other day. It was like about black people in interviews. And like it was like me and this one chick almost broke character because we both know we don't talk like that, which is fucking hilarious.
That's not. I mean, I don't talk like that in job interviews either. I'm like, well, that's very interesting.
I do the sorry the volume.
Well, sorry, and then I pulled a.
Get that leg up there.
Yeah.
Oh man, I started listening. Ties into what we're doing right now.
Okay.
Sometimes when
Who cares?
It doesn't matter. It's a podcast.
Go on with the story.
So sometimes when my Bluetooth doesn't sync up right in my car,
Your blue teeth?
Blue teeth. Yep, my blue teeth. Teef. If they don't connect right, I'll end up listening to 770 AM,
Wow.
which is like a conservative talk radio station, and it's always bitching about something.
Yes.
The liberals are doing something, and it reminds me of this film.
That's true.
Either film, because at the end of the day, it's
the same film.
Yep, it's pretty much about a conservative politician. The Birdcage, I mean, look, it's Robin Williams. I definitely saw it, definitely too young to see it in theaters, but it's on HBO or something all the time.
Yeah, it was on. It was like, I remember a summer, it was constantly. It was like that and like The Big Lebowski.
Yeah.
Were like on constantly.
So that's a classic. La Cage aux
Folles.
La Cage aux Folles. Omelette du fromage. Yeah, I also wasn't really aware that was a film, but I watched that on Tubi. Tubi, free TV.
Tubi!
This is speaking of conservative radio, the same place I watched half of The Trump Prophecy.
Oh, wow.
Which is a terrible, terrible film.
Terrible. I bet it is.
Oh, it's bad. It's like
but I'll tell you what, I prefer those terrible conspiracy films more than I prefer real ones.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think it's called I Hate This Place, but it's an HBO Max documentary about January 6th. And this is guy, Andrew Callahan, who does the Channel 5.
Andrew Tate made a documentary, guys.
It was called Live from Romanian Prison. The shit was good. Oh, nice. Just so you can date this episode, the 49ers just won
against the Seattle Seahawks in the Wild Card Saturday.
Wild stuff.
41-23. Hope you have your bets in.
Yeah. But, watching La Cage aux Folles, striking how similar these
it's the same movie. The only thing, but it's, you start off the whole movie, what I found so fascinating, we could just go right into it.
Sure.
Was, I'm mostly going to talk about The Birdcage because,
why not?
Yeah, it's like a classic at this point. And La Cage aux Folles, I bet most people watching this don't even realize that was a remake.
Yeah.
So, including you.
Oh, yeah, I didn't know.
Until I brought it up. It was that was a remake. We could do that. But it's funny, you have, as funny as this movie is, and you kind of sit back and realize Robin Williams is the straight man in this movie. He's the one, he's not the wacky one.
He is the grounding figure.
The grounding of everything.
Yeah. Between the two films, I think even more so than the original actor.
Yes.
Well, just really quick before we dive into this, let's see, is he the same? Doesn't matter. Super quick synopsis. Basically, a openly gay owner of a drag club called the Birdcage, and his life partner, who's basically a star attraction at that club. They live together in an apartment above the club. The owner's son basically reveals that he's getting married to a woman, and this woman happens to be the daughter of a prominent conservative politician. The club owner and his partner try to figure out how are they going to present themselves, gay people, to this homophobe?
Yeah.
Is that a better word?
Well, a forced homophobe.
Yeah, definitely by political.
Yeah, politically enforced homophobe based on scandal.
Right.
A previous scandal of an associate.
The scandal, which I think the remake. I love the way they update the scandal.
Yes, exactly.
It's even better. Yeah. So then they have to decide how are we going to present themselves, and they basically choose to present themselves as heterosexual. Really, the partner is supposed to get lost.
Yeah.
While the owner and his previous wife, because at one point he tried to fake the funk, pass themselves off as
as a married couple. Even though I think wasn't it a one night stand? I think in the Birdcage it was
I think in the Birdcage it might be.
I don't remember what it is. If it's a one night stand in the Birdcage, or if it's or they were married. But I know in La Cage aux Folles it was a one night stand.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So either way.
Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Someone he hooked up with.
They're not married.
Exactly.
They were gonna. The plan was for the partner to get lost, and then the mother and father to pretend like they're Ozzie and Harriet.
Totally.
To appease this right wing political figure.
Totally. And that doesn't happen because the partner shows up dressed as a woman and tries to pass himself off as a woman throughout this dinner.
As the child's mother.
Yep. And hilarity ensues.
Hilarious.
In both movies in basically the same way. And
Yes.
We'll talk about that.
Yes, of course. I mean, I usually don't go for this kind of movie. And not like in the gay way of saying that. But, I mean, like in the... I can't stand, for the most part, most movies that are like mistaken identity.
Yeah.
Like I just don't, like this one's not really, because it's like, it's more farce than anything.
Right.
But it's in the same, the reason why I don't like it is because you know that they're gonna have to find out, or else it's like a Chekhov's gun. You know, like if he's in drag, at the end you're gonna have to find out that he's not a woman.
Yes.
So... It's okay, so how do we get to it?
I think, yes, typically I wouldn't like that either, but I think the way they resolve it actually makes it all like kind of worth it.
Yes, it does. With a Some Like It Hot ending.
Yeah, I love Something Like It Hot.
Yeah.
That's a great film.
It is, that they forced them to be in drag with all the other drag queens.
So good.
And also...
Marilyn Monroe. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, just on a side note, I saw like a commercial for the Some Like It Hot.
Like it? Yeah.
It's on Broadway.
Okay.
And the songs on it, like, it's just so stupid. It's just like, some like it hot, and that ain't bad. Anyway.
Yeah.
Like, oh.
There's this is an obscure reference. So I played this video game called Overwatch, and there's a map on it called Hollywood, and in this game there's like cyborgs and shit. So there's a poster for Some Like It Bot. Because it's like a cyborg with the wig kind of popping off, and it's a whole thing. I love fucking references.
Imagine it's like that's how you have to join a jazz band to like get in with robots.
Yeah,
like a robot jazz band.
It's like, yo, you sure you're a robot? Nah,
I am a robot. Now you have to have sex with one.
You definitely got to bang a robot. That's just how it works.
Yeah, that's just obviously that's just the way.
You got to interface.
It's like Avatar. You got to combine wires.
But I
mean, where do we start?
So I think you were going in a good place. And I want to bring us back there. So in the original film, the '78 film, Ugo Tognazzi plays Renato Baldi.
No.
Who's the club owner of La Cage aux Folles.
La Cage aux Folles.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm going to fuck that up a lot. And in
it's okay.
The '96 film, we got Robin Williams, who is playing Armand Goldman.
Are you upset? But let me tell you why. First of all, you're only
the owner of the Birdcage.
Yes. Arguably, Robin Williams at his hairiest, by the way.
Definitely at his hairiest. Maybe Jumanji, he comes in.
He is, yeah. He's quite in the beginning, like when he comes out of Jumanji. Yes, you're right. That might win. Yeah, that's...
But
that's the Oscar.
It's close.
That's the Oscar. But
you're making a good point, though, I think, before I...
What, about being the straight man?
Yes.
Yes. He is. I mean, it's so funny, like, this guy... And that's what they really played up in the trailer for it initially when I first saw it was... Like him doing the, like, when he's giving the notes as Fussy, Madonna. And then that whole thing of...
the only time he
that's it.
Goes there.
That's it. The rest of it, he's like... And I think it's, like, so good, so great on his part, because he could be so eccentric and so crazy and over the top. But Nathan Lane's already doing that.
Right.
And it's so... That's how good Robin Williams is that he's like, no, I'm taking the back seat.
Yeah.
Like, no, you drive. Like, I think it's so much better. And it works so much more.
Yes.
Because Nathan Lane is phenomenal in this movie.
What's interesting is, after seeing, like, the producers, which is the episode we did before, like, Nathan Lane could play it either way as well.
He
so
absolutely
like
can.
choosing to go the Nathan Lane route, which I think was the right call.
Yeah.
For this film, like was even more fun.
Yes, I think it is too.
Yeah.
And it's also like, and then Hank Azaria constantly just scene stealing every second. And Hank Azaria's third best role is this movie.
Yeah.
Behind Brockmire, which if you guys never seen Brockmire, get on that. And then anything in The Simpsons.
All right. Well, just because we're going to talk about all this shit. In the 78 film, Michael Surratt plays Alvin Mugout, who is Zaza Napoli.
Ah, toi, tais-toi, hein? C'est à cause de toi que j'en suis là. Regarde ce que je suis devenu par ta faute. Pas une loque humaine, une loque humaine. Une épave, un déchet.
And Nathan Lane is Albert Goldman.
That sarcastic, contemptuous tone that means you know everything because you're a man and I know nothing because I'm a woman.
You're not a woman.
Oh, you bastard.
Yeah.
So, there's your owner, your partner situation.
Yes.
You brought up Hank Azaria, so we were going to talk about it.
The whole time I'm watching that movie too, I'm like, this is a great life.
It is a great life.
I could live this life.
Hank Azaria is Agador Spartacus, which is a great fucking
Yes, that's a great name.
Adieu, everybody. Take it easy.
Whatever.
Yes, he's got the lisp too.
And I'm not going to remember. I think it's Benny Luke is Jacob, who would be
Benny Luke, okay.
I believe.
Yes.
I'm not going to sweat it. But, like, you're right. Like, that, to me, the scene change, right? So, the French film, France.
Yes.
I think what the Birdcage does subtly, because like you're saying, the trailer is like so over the top.
Yeah, it's so over the top.
But like when you're actually watching the film, they make a lot of smart choices, like putting it in South Beach.
Yeah, South Beach.
It's brilliant.
And then it's like South Beach and the Riviera.
Yeah.
Like these two locations that are like, yeah, man, like of course. Like, it's so good that they just put it at South Beach, because if you put it in San Francisco, it's like, okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Then it's like,
all right. But now you also get, like, the Cuban influence of South Beach, but also the perfect weather of South Beach. So it's like, there's a different flavor to it, and it's like, that place would exist there.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. And I like that, because for the French film, where I guess I would struggle watching it is, conceptually, 1978 France.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know what the hell. But I also find that stuff interesting. But
yeah.
Because that's a time capsule that you'll never be a part of.
Right.
So you'll never know. You'll never see it.
Yep.
But the fact of them doing that in like the French Riviera, that I like. There are some cheap jokes.
Oh yeah.
So in both, but it's not over the top. Like that's what the trailer made it out to be like. Isn't this like? To prove to like, it was basically like selling it to the home improvement crowd.
Yeah.
Like, oh, this is...
Yeah, how do we get my dad to watch the Birdcage?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Mom and dad conservative in Iowa watching. Mm-hmm. It's like, so the jokes in the trailer are so over the top, and it's like, and by today's standards, you're like, that's not cool.
Yeah.
That's like...
What's good about the sort of modernizing of this film is that like a lot of the jokes that really land are actually more at the expense of the conservatives.
Yeah.
Right? Like when Nathan Lane has a line about abortion, just kill the mother.
Yeah.
and like what's so wild is that these films, you probably have to change things up, but like this film worked in 1978. This film worked in '96.
Yes.
This film could work right now.
I was saying that would it work? Like would it? I think it would because the underlying thing. Yeah, I think it would.
You put them in like I don't know anything about Biloxi, but like you put it in Mississippi, and like maybe you could do it again.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it would on some. I think it would work on some level because the underlying thing, like the way they shoot the whole thing. Mm-hmm. That. Like I was just saying before, like it's a pretty nice life. Like who would not like to live that life? Like I could own a cabaret. Like if you owned a cabaret and I was like your star drag queen, we just hung out and fucked all day on a white beach and then drank Mai Tais by the beach. Who wouldn't like to live that life other than maybe he wouldn't want to have sex with the person, but that's about it. But you know what? Sacrifices must be made.
What's great about it too is what's amazing about it is that like these people who are living a fantastic life.
What do you mean these people?
these characters in the films who live in this fantastic life have to like pretend like there's something else when it's like, what's wrong
Yes.
with
all of this? And
owning a club, being like independently wealthy.
Independently wealthy from a club that you worked hard doing.
Right.
You pay your taxes.
And you're the star of it.
And you're and your partner's the star of it. Oh, I guess, well, they both own it.
Yeah, I put it like a mutual thing.
Yes. And you're having a great time.
Yeah.
The hell's the problem?
I don't know.
You got a son, you love your son.
Right.
I don't know.
You know, like that ultimately is the story. Like, you know, obviously this having to like change who you are to try to fit in.
Yeah, that's why I think it would work. Is because that underlying theme of like, I am who I am.
Right.
Like,
which is actually one of the songs from the Broadway.
Yes.
Runs of.
I think you're thinking of Popeye.
I am what I am. I am is what I am. That's all that I am.
Because he is what he is. Anyway.
Yeah. but no, that is the story though. Like, he loves his son so much, and so does his partner, that they're willing to jump through any hoop possible.
Yes, but there's like that's what it is too. Like, you can't have him. What I like about Robin Williams is he does that. There's the scene. What he does, like, why he also can't be like so over the top flamboyant and like. With not only can you not have both him and Nathan Lane doing that,
right?
But he's tough. He's the one in a really hard position,
right?
Because he's like, I love my son. I love Albert,
right?
So I gotta, and basically he turns to Albert. He's like, fuck this. Like, I don't want to. I'm like, you're more important to me than this fucking bullshit. Like, I love my son, but he'll fucking understand. Like, like, nope. He has that moment where he's like, he's the adult.
Yeah.
Out of all the people in this movie, he's the adult.
That's true.
By far.
Yeah, and constantly...
In both of them.
In both films, I was going to say,
yes.
yeah. In both films, constantly grounded with the responsibility of his position, like being the club owner, being kind of like the person running the show, and how that carries over in his life.
Yes, but also it carries over, like, he's the father to this kid, and he's like, listen, like, I'm not going to jump through hoops. Like, how dare, like, if these people don't accept our style, fuck them. I don't care. Like, and he's got the right attitude of that whole thing, but that one moment, then he's like, oh, I wouldn't ask you to do that. Right. And so, blah, blah, blah. And then that's when all of this happens. And then they have the moment of, like, that she comes in dressed as the mom, and which is so good.
Fucking hilarious.
But, and it's also Nathan Lane. I've seen less attractive older women than Nathan Lane is.
No, even that part, right? Like, because you have this drag queen who has the stage performance where the costuming is very specific. They chose, like, this is what a conservative housewife would wear.
Yes.
With the cut and everything, like the fact that he went and was like, yeah, this is about right.
Yeah.
And nailed it.
Like, nailed it.
Nailed it. To the point that that they're like, oh yeah, well, this is traditional.
Yeah, this is definitely conservative as conservative could possibly be, and dead on. Yeah. Rightfully so. It's like Hillary Clinton,
kind of like fucking Barbara Bush.
Hillary Clinton with muted colors.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's pretty entertaining that way, and a lot of the jokes, like you said, they're not really cheap. I mean, there are cheap jokes, but like in both films, for the most part, like it is like this human story, and I think that like some of the scenes, which I think get elevated in the remake, are when they're trying to like kind of butch themselves up.
Yes,
you know, I think that in a certain aspect, like I like the scene where they're like making toast. In both films, I think. The French film plays it a little bit more straight.
French toast.
Yeah, it's French toast.
Yeah.
That's fucking good. And Nathan Lane was like, I don't know, maybe it's like the language barrier or something like that, but like Nathan Lane was like, oh, you know, like, it's like, you're right, I could just get more toast. And like, all the scenes where they're trying to be like more masculine are like pretty fucking funny.
It's pretty funny, especially. Yes, I will give it that it's so funny, like, because it's funny, but it's also like, okay, I don't know. If you have to be.
Yeah, like exactly. Like I think that they're
It's
overcorrecting.
Yes, it's overcorrect. That's the part. That's the kind of parts that I don't know if it would work like today.
It depends on how you do it. And
Yeah,
like,
I don't know. I can see it going both ways. Like this is great, and then I can also see people like this is a bit much.
yeah. Well, I mean, I'm sure from a retro versus remake perspective, there's a lot of different ways that we could play this type of film. Like,
Oh,
we could
absolutely.
At some point, watch She's the Man, the Amanda Bynes classic.
Hell yeah.
That's a remake. But like,
Well,
yeah, there's ways to
Well,
do it.
that is a remake. Yeah.
It is. It is.
12th Night.
That and also, was it the 80s or was the 80s film too?
Oh, there was one. No,
Yeah.
that She's the Man is Amanda Bynes. There's another. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. But
Yes, we do Ladybugs.
it was like one of the boys or something like that. I don't know.
just one of the guys.
Just one of the guys, some shit like that.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. We're
Just-
talking about the birdcage.
The Birdcage.
But I was just saying that, like, you could do something like that. You know, you could change the couple. You could make it.
Oh yeah.
Like, you could do this again. But why would you at this point when you have?
Did you think
Rob
about
Williams.
when? Yes, and Gene Hackman too.
Yeah,
I was
Gene.
kind of like, why would Gene Hackman do this movie?
Yeah,
Because Gene Hackman is like a known curmudgeon,
that's true.
and he playing this role where he's not a bigot, but he's playing the role that's playing a role of a bigot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So,
Of family values and stuff. People don't remember. People don't remember a time before gay marriage was legal.
that's true. What, 2013?
Yeah. So this is what 16 years before,
Yeah.
and
I don't know, because, like, Gene is kind of built for it.
he is. Oh, he's a perfect casting. I just don't know why he did it.
Right. That is a good question. I
love Gene Hackman.
He's amazing. In the 78 film, Michel Galabru plays Simon Charrier, who's like this conservative politician going through a scandal. Gene Hackman is Senator Kevin Keeley.
That's the best name too. That's the perfect
Kevin
name
Keeley?
for a conservative senator.
Kevin Keeley?
Yeah, it's Kevin Keeley, Senator Kevin Keeley. Like, yeah, that guy is against abortion.
Oh, 100%. What's great about both films, I think that to a certain extent, the original film dives like slightly deeper into like the politics, which is irrelevant.
Yes.
Which is why I'm sure some of those cuts were made. But like we get a lot of time with Michelle's character and the scandal that happens as a president
Yes.
and being with the underage
Yeah, the
prostitute.
underage black prostitute.
Yes.
Is it dead? Were they dead?
I think that could be an aspect. I don't really recall.
I don't remember either. But it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But when that was happening, all I kept thinking was this is what happens when you don't take the corruption route in Godfather 2.
Right.
Like this is what happens. Like this girl had no name.
Right.
No one will miss her.
Yep.
Like if you said no to the Corleones, this is what happens.
Yeah. 100%.
Yes.
Wow. That's a great point.
I know. Thank you. I make sound
You're
points.
making points.
I make
You're making
sound
points.
points.
But
French toast. Now this.
again, you know, like the Hackman factor though, just modernizing it, making him a senator, like really playing up the conservatism
Yes.
and playing it as like a joke.
As a joke, because it's like, it's the movie itself is kind of like again, this is why Rob Williams is great. He's kind of the one in the middle.
Right.
Like he's not that, and
Right.
he's certainly not that,
Right.
but he can understand where they're coming from.
Totally.
And he's the one kind of in the middle.
Well-
And the son is kind of in the middle. And the daughter.
Well-
And Mrs. Indiana Jones.
Well, it's kind of like
Felicity herself. No, not
Felicity
Felicity.
Felicity.
Ally McBeal.
which like is kind of the point that he more than anyone can recognize why they're in this position.
Yes.
He's like, okay, like he doesn't love it, and like you said,
He
he has
does
that
not.
moment of clarity. But he's like, okay, I get why this conservative politician is gonna have a problem with us being like queer club owners,
Yeah.
right? So like he's seeing all the angles in a way where like Nathan Lane, going back to your point, where Nathan Lane can lean into the flamboyancy of this character,
Yeah.
the flamboyant nature of this character. Rob Williams was like, how do I finesse
Yes.
this?
He's
How do I steer this ship?
right into, yeah.
Yeah. And
I agree. I don't know. The whole time I'm watching this movie, it's like, I would never give a fuck.
Right.
Like, I would have to literally have a conversation, like, if I was with my fiance and be like, okay,
Yeah.
so you're gonna have to explain this. I'll be there.
Right.
But you're gonna have to explain this to your
Right.
parents. Like, I'm gonna have to do that with my parents now, and they don't own a drag club.
Right.
So I'm gonna have to, like, we got a lot of things to discuss here. We gotta, don't mention this.
Yep.
We're not gonna talk about that. And, yeah, we're gonna aim that way.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
there's plenty of things to be embarrassed. Everyone's embarrassed by their parents. By definition.
By definition, for sure. And also, which I guess could be sort of like a bit of a plot hole in both films is, how do you think you're going to be able to keep this up?
Yeah, exactly. What do you think is going to happen on Christmas, on New Year, like
Right.
whenever you see each other once, twice a year? You're going to have to do this all the time?
Like, you think that the press isn't going to find out that Senator Kelly's daughter is married to a boy whose parents are gay club owners?
Yeah, exactly. Do you not think this is good? I mean, I know this is before Google.
Right.
But if he ever makes, which he has in full intentions of running for president.
Right.
Like, they're going to do a background check. That's coming up.
I'll
100%. Because they're not even trying to hide it.
No. Like, which is kind of why it's like a comedy and why you don't really take it at face value.
You can't.
You really can't. The idea that we're going to pretend for this one dinner
Yes.
that this is your mother, and we're not going to think about any of the future consequences.
Yes, that's why these movies annoy me.
Yeah.
But in this case, I give it a pass.
Mm-hmm.
But for the most part, that's why this shit annoys me.
Yeah.
Because it's like, really, you're not gonna. This is not gonna come up again. That
Totally.
This is not my brother. You know, like.
Exactly. The fact that it's a comedy allows you to
Yeah.
compartmentalize and.
To some degree, but even that, I'm just like, it's lazy.
Mm-hmm. It can be. It really can be. And I don't know, like Gene Hackman, it's just
I genuinely think Nathan Lane's just so funny in this
he's so
movie.
fucking good.
He's so funny.
He's so
It's this and the producers.
yeah, the producer.
And then he does one episode of 30 Rock that he's hilarious
Yeah.
in.
Nathan Lane,
Nathan Lane, fucking New Jersey treasure.
fucking amazing.
This one, here's to your soul.
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's not dead? Oh.
Nah,
okay.
he's still around.
I'm parent from Robert Tuesday. Still alive. Yeah.
But yeah, I think that the one thing I wish we got more of, because we see a little bit more of like the Zaza character in the French film, like kind of, well, not really that much more, but like you see it kind of at work a little bit more in like costume and stuff like
Yeah.
that we don't get from Nathan Lane. I was kind of looking forward to it after watching.
That was,
the original.
yeah, that was the only thing, like, that was one of the problems that I had with the movie. It's like, really, this is the star attraction?
Yeah.
Nathan Lane?
Right.
Like, that's, if you said that Hank Azaria was,
Sure.
even though that's the whole thing is that he wants to be.
Right.
I would believe it with Hank Azaria.
Totally.
But,
Well,
Nathan Lane, I mean,
yeah. Well, there's some.
he's kind of frumpy.
Yeah.
Like, he's a frumpy. Granted, I mean, then again, you could look at Divine from the John Waters movies.
True.
And
That's a great point.
doesn't know exactly what you'd expect. So, maybe what do I know? What do I know?
Hard to say.
What do I know?
Hard to say. Even, somewhat addressing like the scene where it's like, Fosse
Yes.
Madonna, where he's like, you can't just be 22 and hung. You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like you have to have,
Panache.
yeah.
22 and hung. That's a great.
But-
I'm going to say that
yeah.
to people all the time now.
Like, and that's kind of why I wish
You just be 22 and hung.
outside of the dinner we got to see more of Nathan work.
Yeah, I would think.
Character.
I just wanted to follow them around. I kind of just
Yeah.
wanted to live that life. It made me like I went down to a few years ago. I went down to Key West.
Mm-hmm.
That fucking that island, like time doesn't matter there,
Oh no.
and no one has a real job. Like everything is just, it's beautiful.
Well,
Like
like-
everyone has like 3 jobs. It's like I'm a bar back, I'm a lifeguard, and I'm a tour guide. You're like, okay, it's great.
Yeah, that was like, we talked about it a bit, but like when I went to, I was recently in Hawaii, and I was just sitting there, I was like, yeah, you know what, I kind of like this. Ain't shit to do.
Exactly.
Ain't shit to do.
It's
Just
like the weather's beautiful. Why isn't everyone here?
that I can't figure out.
It's just,
Like, Don't tell everyone because it's
don't tell anyone.
nice.
That's why in Key West too. It's like this is beautiful. Like and no one gives a shit who you're fucking. Like that's the way it should be. But it's a different the conservative road of like how would you not find out about this?
Yeah.
And even if they don't, even if it comes out like down to further on down the road, eventually, and this is honestly not looking through the scope of 1996 and not 2023, but back then the big thing was that if you were in the hospital and you got sick, that you didn't have the rights that a married couple has.
Right, that was
a huge deal. Like you couldn't be making decisions about their DNR or something like that.
That was a big part of the fight.
So if something happened, if they weren't exactly, not that they were old in the movie, but you're talking 20 years in the future of that future.
Right.
It's gonna come up later on, and now you're gonna look like a fucking dickhead, like to these conservative parents, and it's not like they're cool, so they're gonna understand. They're gonna like, oh, I'm now whoever Albert's dying in a hospital bed, and I can't do shit about it.
Right.
Like,
right. Yeah, it's interesting because like rewatching both of these films, with the current state of I guess the political world and like how much more acceptance there is of gay people, gay culture, and all that stuff, but still with that conservative undercurrent of, but nah,
but
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, you gotta tell me your pronouns and stuff. It's really not that difficult.
It's not that hard. It's kind of like if someone asks, "Hey, my name's Reggie." It's like, okay, I guess I'll call you Reggie now.
Yeah, instead of
fucking Frank.
Yeah, it's like I don't go by Daniel.
Like
I go by Dan. Oh, okay.
At a certain point, at a certain point, if someone tells you, "Hey, this is what I go by," and you're like not doing it, aren't you the dick?
Yeah, you're just a dick, though. But I understand if you mess up. Like when people call me Danny, this is not Grease.
No, I get it.
I'm not fucking John Travolta in Grease, but I don't really correct them.
Sure. Well,
after a while, I will.
It's like one of those things where like you're not actively trying to fuck up, and
I also don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that too.
That's another neither here nor there. But would you? How far? I was thinking about this. How far would you go into this movie that you would put on this farce?
Honestly, about as long as they did.
Yeah, I think I would probably go pretty far.
About.
I would look at that. If someone said that to me, I'm waiting for that to happen in my life. To be honest, as much as I say that with all reverence to this movie.
Right.
I despise these type of movies. I want that to happen in my life.
Right.
Like, Dan, you have to pretend to be a fucking congressman or something.
I think it would just be fucking fun for a little bit.
It would be so fun that I just get to do this, and you'd be shocked about how good I was at it. I think.
Oh,
I'd be pulling stories out. I remember this one time. Like if we were like reverse, that I was like I had to play the role of a congressman. I'd be coming up with fucking stories. Like I remember on our first campaign, and they'd be like, "What the fuck is Dan talking about?"
It's so good, so good. Even like some of the jokes in the film when they go through the back and forth about their last name.
Yes, Goldman and Coleman. That's also another big part that people like. They hide the Jewishness.
Right, and that's funny enough that could be a friction point.
Yes, nobody even thinks about it.
So funny, man. Like, I think just somehow both of these films, with the level of the humor works so well in both these films, the ridiculous nature of the scandal.
Oh yeah.
For the political party is so over the top.
Yes.
But again, played straight. Like Gene Hackman is also the straight man.
Yes, he is. He's the straighter man.
He is the straighter man.
He's the stuffed shirt.
To the point where actually he's just ignorant.
Yes.
To what's happening around him. Like he can't see that he's talking to another man.
Yes.
He's like, this person, it fits the ideals of like...
And also, it's not even really close.
No.
Like, it's not really passing, by the way. It's like...
Which is part of the fun.
She's a handsome gal, huh?
Yeah.
I know it's part of the fun, but it's like, oh, when's the wig gonna come off?
Right,
like,
right. You're kind of waiting for that moment. And like, there's all these moments in both films where maybe this is the moment. Maybe this is the moment when the plates... Are these people wrestling? It's
yes.
like, that could be a moment in the pantry or whatever. There's the statue.
Yes.
You know,
I love that statue.
It's so funny.
Yeah, I would love to have a piece of memorabilia from the movie.
Oh, that would be great.
That would be like imagine like if I just gave that to you for Christmas.
I could imagine.
Like, it's just I would. I would. It's like in your bathroom. It's like the toilet paper rolled on it and shit. Yeah, it's too good. I would love. That would be. I do want that to happen in my life one time. I want someone to come up to me with a proposal. Like, guess what? Bad news. Turns out, you gotta pretend to be a fucking woman for this dinner. Okay?
Oh, man.
Like,
I'm
gonna take one look at my beard. I'm gonna have to shave it off and be like, well, we've been together a long time, friends.
Yeah. I just,
Also, Robin Williams pretending to be Greek. Perfect.
That's
perfect.
I mean, that is actually
perfect.
That's
Coleman, not a Greek name, but okay.
well,
Good enough.
when we're in Greece,
Yeah.
when we're
yes, but he has like all the arm hair that a fucking diner owner should have.
it's pretty fucking funny. I just going back to this like dynamic, and I think that I like that they underplayed a bit. There's like some moments where don't age as great that like I think the newer film actually handles better, like the fact that like Albert gets hit, you know, by what the fuck is Robin Williams' character?
Coleman.
Yeah, Coleman. Whatever.
Not Albert. Whatever his name. Doesn't matter. Robin Williams.
Yeah, Robin was like they don't really delve into that in the remake the way that they do in the original, where like he actually takes the hit. You know, it's just implied. And like I kind of appreciate they keep that sort of the integrity of the story in that way. That like it's alluded to. Yeah. But like we don't need to see Robin Williams hitting Nathan Lane.
Yeah, because then it becomes cruel.
Right. And what makes this film work is that the cruel people are the ones trying to keep this like traditional value.
No matter how you cut it, they're great people. Yeah. You know, like, and that's, and if that, even the joke of, because you want them to go, oh, like you want that. Right. But because it's so funny that like have him scream like that. Right. But I don't care how you cut it. He's hitting a guy. It's domestic violence. You can't have it. Which, in the 90s, you know, I guess it was less.
Right. Right. But yeah, I mean,
apparently two men is fine.
You could have done it, and it would have like still worked and landed. It wouldn't have been a problem in the film at that time. But like,
I feel like this. I mean, it is, but I feel like we're not erring on the side of wokeness on this podcast.
Right, nah.
It's just kind of like, hey, I don't know, don't hit people.
Right.
Don't
shit.
hit.
Wait
Don't fuck whoever you want. How about that?
Don't hit people. Wow, that's a revelation.
I know, revelation. That unlike that Gene Hackman coming and slapping that Diane Weiss.
Yeah, true. Like that's kind of
Weiss?
Weiss?
I don't know.
I don't know. That's kind of like the point of it all, right? Like we're seeing this sort of Hackman conservative politician in these low moments, like hiding himself, because of the scandal, trying to go out like the ladder and not have the press see him and all that stuff. There's not really a moment where they deserve any sympathy.
No.
And yet our main characters here, Robin Williams and Nathan Lane, when they're confronted with this problem of like the press is out there, they give them the out. Yeah. They could have just been like, fuck you. Yeah. You know what? Yeah, here he is. That's, right here.
But that's the high road. That's just the writing, is that you need these characters who are morally terrible people to be the good people. Right. You know, it's like anything else. That you're like, oh, what are we going to do? I know what we could do. Let's flip this around.
Yeah.
And it works.
It's still like pretty powerful. In that moment, you get so many different things. Like at this point, we're talking about the ending of the film. Like at this dinner, the ex shows up.
Yes. And she's coming in obviously because this is why the reason why this movie wouldn't work today is because of technology.
Oh yeah,
it would not work because of cell phones.
She would have got that phone call.
She'd be like, "Do not come." and then the second one is a Google search will know everything about this guy.
That's true.
So
I think like the technology thing you could work around. Like maybe she's kind of hapless, which you could play, and she didn't charge her phone.
Yeah,
like, you could still get away with that. But the Google search, that's the first thing a senator would do in this situation.
yes, not his, but his secretary.
Oh yeah, somebody would find out about this. The press would find out about it.
Press would find out before that he would.
Yeah, yeah, and you get that scene where like the ex shows up.
Yes, where everything falls apart.
Everything falls apart. But as it falls apart, and the senator, or in both films really, let's just call him the senator.
When I call him Gene Hackman in both films, I don't give a shit.
Fuck yeah.
That's fine.
When Gene Hackman discovers that he's been tricked, he really can't do anything about it because he's now confronted with...
Yeah, you're involved in the scandal now.
Correct. And it's like scandal on top of scandal. Gene Hackman's freaking out. And what do they do? Say, hey, look. Because the press locked him in. It's like, well, there's one way out for you.
Yeah.
And it's through the front door. And how do you do that? They dress him in drag.
Dress him in drag.
It is a fantastic turn, fantastic ending because you get the joke, which is what the movie's been doing.
Yes, it's been setting up this joke the whole time. It's like, would it be funny if it's conservative president to be or wannabe has to dress as a woman?
Yep.
I'm sure that won't come back to haunt him, like Justin Trudeau.
Right.
In his blackface.
Oh yeah, that. I think he did Aladdin's face at some point too.
Sure he did. Well, who did it?
Yeah, well, that's a good point.
Everyone
we all had
did.
a fez and a vest.
Yeah, everyone. Oh, I think it's not Aladdin. Not Aladdin. Oh.
No, I think he got banged up for an Arabian Nights blackface.
Okay.
Yep.
Well,
he was doing the Will Smith genie before Will Smith.
Wow.
Yep.
That's something.
It's so funny every time
about blackface. I know.
Yeah.
It really is every time.
Yeah, because like, how is there so much blackface just out there?
Oh, I mean, it wasn't a thing. Like, it was like the jazz singer, like Al Jolson, like that was like a big thing.
No, it was. It was Soul Man.
Soul Man.
Yep.
Like
Jimmy Kimmel playing fucking Karl Malone.
Yep.
Yep.
Ted Danson. And was it
Always Sunny?
and Frank.
Robert Downey Jr.
Robert. That one was. That's that's the whole joke. Yeah, that's the whole joke. Is that like how the fuck?
Yeah.
But what's his name?
Frank, dude pretend to be the other dude.
Frank Caliendo being Charles Barkley.
Oh yeah. Damn, two basketball players. Yeah, a lot of blackface.
Yes. Yeah. But not enough drag.
Not enough drag face. That's a good point.
That's what we're saying this whole movie.
But like the Gene Hackman, in drag, miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable, but like
horrible.
Having to do it.
Having to do it, but like also he clearly looks like Gene Hackman in drag.
That's 100%. Like
you're not fooling anyone.
If you were looking for that senator.
Yeah. There he is.
Yep.
There he is.
Like it's like they want me to think that I wouldn't recognize Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
In drag.
Exactly.
Like, which would actually just be Nathan Lane.
Oh. Dun, 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 dun. That's it, folks. That's it for us. See you later.
A walk off.
A walk off home run. Dan's coming around third. He did it. He did it.
He made it.
Ted Cruz joke. The Zodiac himself.
Zodiac killer. Donald
I know this was months ago, and I don't think we talked about it. Him in Yankee Stadium.
Oh, when he got booed.
Thing
that's the most New York shit.
That's the most New York. That's why I love New York sometimes, man.
New York never lets you down.
It really doesn't. They just tell you exactly what it is. Yep. Like, go fuck yourself.
And several of the people in the crowd actually agree with his politics, but it
doesn't matter. Not here.
Not
here. I don't. Not at Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
And then there's 30,000 people giving you the finger.
Yeah. See, because he's getting it from both angles, right? He's getting the fuck you because you're Ted Cruz, and you're also
from 3 angles.
Yep.
He's getting fuck you because you're Ted Cruz.
Yep.
Fuck you because fuck you. That's why. Fuck you because you're conservative.
Yep.
And fuck you because you're from the South.
Yeah.
Those are 3 things.
Well, shit, 4 angles then.
Yeah.
And fuck you for rooting for the Texans.
Oh yeah.
In Yankee Stadium.
Yeah, exactly.
Your boot wearing bullshit.
With your bullshit. You're getting it all
you know
my favorite though of all of them is fuck you because fuck you.
Yeah.
Because you're Ted Cruz, so fuck you.
That's so good. You know what's actually kind of funny? This is an aside, not to get too political.
We're going all over the side. Because we can just talk. Basically, you could clearly see these are the same movies.
They're the same movie,
the
so
same movie,
we can fill the time with. I got this mug from Anthropology. It's pretty nice.
I'm drinking some Coke Zero.
That's good.
This
no sugar?
No sugar. No, Reggie. There's no sugar
That's
added.
wild.
What do they use? I don't know, but I'm sure I'll pay for it
Oh
later.
yeah. It was the
It was the Coke Zero.
Like, no one talks about performative conservatism. Like, we always talk about, like, drag and trans and stuff like that. Like, Ted Cruz wears cowboy boots, not because he just wants to wear cowboy boots. He wants to be like, you see, I did the masculine southern thing. It's like, does Ted Cruz, the person, scream masculinity to you?
No. That's exactly like, but that's how it works. That's the formula. Like George W. Bush, he's from fucking Connecticut.
Yeah, he really is from Connecticut.
He's not from Texas. Where's his draw coming from? Yeah. Oh, what you gotta do? He's clearing brush. This motherfucker's a multi-millionaire. He owned an oil company.
Yes, he did. Yes,
he didn't. He owned the Texas Rangers. He's never cleared brush in his life.
Him and Johnny Manziel.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's true. It's like, this is some bullshit.
It's some bullshit. It's just it's like,
which is why left and right. I hate politics in general. Like, I don't actually. I'm a huge political nerd, and I went to school for this shit. And lived in D.C. for a long time. That's something you know about me now. But like, I hate the bullshit. Kind of like how you're saying the Chekhov's gun about like the movies. The fact that like this person would be like green energy, and this person would be like actually frack more. It's like, can we have any other angle on this?
yes.
Is it really just this left-right binary? Like, it's all
It's
bullshit.
so much bullshit. But you show up in cowboy boots, so I vote for you?
Yeah,
What the
it's
fuck?
nonsense.
Dude, if you showed up, like, if my fucking senator was wearing cowboy boots, if you showed up to my wedding wearing cowboy boots, I'd be sitting there with a drink, like, you wearing cowboy boots to my fucking wedding?
Yeah, totally. This is crazy, and like, not saying he's like the best president or anything like that, but like, I kind of fuck with like a Bill Clinton, like an Arkansas, kind of like a little good old boy.
I'm kinda gonna fuck your wife. Hey.
I like a flawed politician.
Yeah.
Is what I'm saying.
Who can talk his way out of a fucking paper bag?
He sure did.
He sure did. Like, how do you take that stance? Oh, no, I didn't have sex with her. She blew me. Do you consider a blowjob sex? I was not lying on the stand.
That's a great point. That's not
holy
perfect.
shit! He fucking did it.
But see,
I don't consider a blowjob sex. No, she sucked my dick.
That's the other thing about politics. Because clearly we're way off the rails.
It's all politics.
Which is fun.
We're talking about.
Oh yeah, totally. Which is part of the film.
Part of the movie. This is all part of the bullshit. It's all about the nonsense bullshit of suppressing your own life.
Yes.
I mean, that's
like, as much as people have, how could you? Like, you don't think that it's like a patriarchal guy's power fantasy? I'm the president of the United States. I'm behind the Oval Office. It's fucking my bed.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy.
Well, I'm
like,
smoking a cigar
Right.
and shoving it in her.
And then you gotta pretend like that shit's not kind of fun.
Yeah. Like,
Look, the
what,
power
you do
dynamic,
that?
the Me Too side of it, yeah, it's pretty bad.
Of course.
But
Of
like,
course.
If
But you get why it happened.
If you take the ethics out of it, just the story itself, I'm like, that's kind of fucking cool. A guy got
Yeah.
a blowjob in the White House.
Oval Office.
Holy shit.
And people are like, what I love though, is the other side of that, when people are like, the disgrace he brought to that office. It's like,
Man.
how many people have been killed from that room?
That's true. That's true. A
What
lot.
are you talking about? Like, hundreds of thousands of people.
I was, weirdly enough, I was watching some show last night called America's Book of Secrets. It's on Discovery Plus.
Oh, I know that. With, is it fucking, Daniels from, The Wire? Doesn't he do the...
He might do.
I think
it makes sense actually. Now that you're saying it, it's like fuck it. I think it is.
Cedric Daniels.
Like, you know,
I couldn't tell you his real name. I just call him the Terminator because he's the most in shape man I've ever seen in my life. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, like, you know, they were talking about the White House. Like the first episode was all about the White House and all this secrets and shit. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, this shit's stupid.
Yeah.
they test the food before it shows up. I'm like,
okay.
You know, like. Funny enough, I guess it's because it's the people they could get. It was like Gerald Ford's kids who just kept telling these like Gerald Ford anecdotes, and they all made him look like a dumbass. He was like, oh, one night he woke up and walked his dog outside but he got locked out of the White House.
Fucking.
Which is like, you're like, isn't that funny? I was like, no, your
No.
dad's a dumbass. He wasn't even elected.
This motherfucker, nobody has fallen up more
Oh, then Gerald Ford?
than Gerald Ford.
Nobody.
It's like, yo, that guy, every office he held, he never got elected.
That's a great point.
That's a,
like that's actually the full circle. That's actually kind of what's happening in this movie.
Exactly,
It's
yeah.
like, oh shit, that guy banged a black underage prostitute. I guess I'm next in line. Yeah. Uh-oh, but now I'm at the birdcage.
No, at the birdcage. That's just, like, as we know, like, that I'm straight, but I would love to live that life, what they're living. It's like, that seems so great. That's such a good life.
All the
What am I doing here?
I don't know. What the fuck are we doing? All of the sort of stereotypes, like the disposable income and all that shit. Like, no, it's kind of dope. Like, you're just hanging out with your boys. And you're like, yeah, you fuck from time to time.
Yeah,
Whatever.
But at that point, like, when you're that old, you're not fucking like that.
No, at that point, you're just hanging out.
Yeah, hanging out. You're
Hanging
like,
out.
no.
You made money. I made money.
Yeah.
Hey, you want to go somewhere? Sure.
Check out this chest hair.
Yeah. Chest hair, gold chain.
With the fucking arm hair.
Oh, man.
And he just, and they're living like, their house is dope, but it's not like crazy dope.
No, it's like,
especially like 90s wise in South Beach. That thing is not that expensive.
You brought this up in the It episodes. Like,
I don't remember, but go ahead.
It doesn't matter. You will remember once I say it. It's not even as good as like the 90s loft that everyone had. You know, like, for some reason you have this giant steel door.
Oh,
and you come out of the elevator.
Like the gate?
He's an artist who hasn't sold a painting in 10 years. $1 million property.
$1 million property with fucking pipes exposed. Like, I'm like, but no, it's a loft, so it's slumming. But granted, they fucking did. Like, when you hear Willem Dafoe talking about, like, him in New York, like, and we're staying in this loft, and it was like half a warehouse. It's like, that's what it was. Like, then you watch Rent.
Yeah.
Like, you see Rent, like, they're, like, burning fucking firewood in their, like, giant loft apartment in the village.
Ridiculous.
Like, okay, you guys got it pretty good. I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, someone pisses on your stoop every night? I don't know.
So funny.
Yes, I would love. That's my ideal. I want to just live in a loft where there's like a fucking attorney, like
exposed brick.
The exposed brick, and then like the pipe sticking out with like the wheel on it.
Yeah.
Like that opens a valve somewhere.
Oh, so good.
Oh, that's what I want.
So good.
Yeah.
So good. And for no reason in the film, like, you find out you have superpowers and you start doing pull-ups on the fucking pipe.
Of course.
And the pipe never breaks.
Never breaks.
No.
And obviously it's gonna be like somewhere I'm gonna have meat hooks or something, and those meat hooks are just to do Mr. T and Rocky 3 pull-ups.
Yep.
Like, and that's all I use that for.
There's always some dumb pun that you're taking home because you were at the bar. You're like, oh, and then you don't even fuck. You're just like, get out of here. I'm dealing with something else.
She's been there for 6 days in a different part of the loft.
Yeah.
Your shower used to be a fucking foreman's office.
Of course.
Of course.
Like, weirdly, the tablecloth is the blueprints to the apartment.
Yeah, of course.
Of course.
There have been more Chinese bodies that hit the floor of that loft than fucking have hit the bottom of the Pacific Ocean. Like fucking.
And you definitely have a bar cart, and you're definitely.
Of course, there's a bar, and there's only like there's like some. There's like a giant poster of like the Pennsylvania Railroad or some shit that you're like, why does he have a Pennsylvania? And then there's just like books, and then a giant TV, and the dopest couch ever. There's nothing else in there.
But then when shit hits the fan, you go to the Pennsylvania poster, you tear it down, and there's like a little box cut out, and you pull out some gold bullion. You're like, this is what I'm gonna need to survive for the next 5 months. You know, a 90s law.
A 90s law. Of course. Yeah, there's a fucking box of bullion in there.
Yep. It's
and then there's also gonna be a stash of chicken bouillon, but in there, gold bullion cubes. Oh, man. A fucking 90s loft. You know what else I have the idea of, like, that I would love to have, like, a giant library, and if I ever made it rich, obviously there's gonna be a trap door in there.
Of course, of course.
And if I don't have that, what am I really doing this for?
doing?
What am I doing this for?
If you're rich and
And
Like-
you don't have a secret compartment in a fucking library
Yeah.
in your house?
Now, here's the
what are you
question.
doing?
What book would it be that you pull out and it turns all this shit?
The Birdcage.
Of course. Why not?
Why not? That would be,
I would have picked the Snowy Day. The children's book.
Oh, wow. What was that in?
Just,
That was in something.
was it?
Yeah, I think it was.
Shit. That's fucking funny.
It would be, I don't know.
And I just have a
It'd
Coke stash back there.
It'd be like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Oh, you know what it'd be?
Yeah.
It'd be the Devil in the White City because he actually had that. So it's like H.H. Holmes would be like, are you going to kill me? No, just check it out. This is my fucking lab. And of course it'd be the lab with like the 2 sticks with like the lightning going through it. Like, why in a lab?
Like, like
I'm a scientist.
Like you're in the fucking Prestige.
No, of course, yeah, I'm in the Prestige. I'm making fucking Frankenstein down here.
We've abandoned this.
Yes.
This is crazy.
This has become our wants.
Yeah.
It started off like, but then again, we would vacation in South Beach.
Of course, I would always
course.
vacation in South Beach, and they would call me Coleman.
They call me Coleman. Yo, Coleman is a first name for you? That'd be awesome.
Oh, man.
Yo, yeah, I'm Coleman Parker.
Yeah. It would actually be the Cask of Amontillado. That's what would be the...
The Cask of Monte Alba. Monte Alba.
And like, I wouldn't have a way to actually leave, so I would have to hope that someone is looking for me and happens to pull... Oh, thank God. I don't know why I built it like this.
Coleman! Thank God.
But all this started because, yeah, it's a sick life, dude.
It's a sick life.
You got Hank Azaria hanging out. He's 22. He's hung.
He's hung. He's talking about shit.
Fussy. Madonna.
The only other person I want is like I need like a fucking Lower East Side fucking Dominican hanging out, like woman hanging out in my fucking house. Talk to me like shit. And, like,
Yeah.
I need that shit.
Like that chick we saw that one time in the all pink tracksuit at the cigar.
Obviously.
I mean, specifically that person.
Obviously, with juicy across the ass, but it's not even spelled correctly.
Yeah. It's Juicy Smollett.
Yeah, Juicy Smollett.
Oh man, this is good stuff.
Yes, it's like Jusey.
I'm living vicariously through these games.
I was, dude. That's like there was. I was reading. I had this idea like I was like reading Brave New World.
Okay.
And like the whole thing is like everyone in the beginning is like this utopia, but no one does anything. No one produces any art. Nothing. But they take like their soma and they're all fucking drugged out. And I was like reading that. I'm like, it's not so bad.
Yeah.
I'm like, I could live this fucking life.
Nice.
You just go to work. You do your shit. You take the soma. You fucking go to sleep. This is great.
Yeah.
Everyone's happy. No one's depressed.
I'm cool with it.
Yeah, I'm cool with it. That's why I'm like watching that. In the beginning, I was like, I can fucking live in this fucking. Now, I don't blame LeBron anymore.
Yeah. No. Hey, taking your talents to
With
South
the
Beach.
decision, taking his talents to South Beach, was like, you gotta. Maybe that's what he was doing. He was becoming Coleman.
You know what's crazy about these films, and we kind of alluded to this a little bit, is just how relevant still this story is.
Oh yeah.
Like,
Well, it's always just suppressing. You gotta like suppress who you are to impress your in-laws or whatever stupid shit.
Sure.
Just I don't know. I you know what I love like as the age that I am of how unimpressed with people's parents I am. Like at this level of my life, whenever I'm with a girl, I'm like, oh, I want to meet your parents. Like I want you to meet my parents. I am so like unintimidated by you. That's, Like especially, well, granted, maybe some of the girls that I meet, their parents are around my age. But
Yeah, well.
then again, I was like, hey, you remember the OJ trial? You guys see the Birdcage? You remember that? Remember when that came out? Wasn't it wild? Anyway, but yeah, but like literally talking like someone tries to intimidate me, like a father shaking his head, like don't you? If you were my daughter, like I'll kill you. It was like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, that's what will happen. I will fuck you up, old man.
Like, you know, this guy just got his hip replaced.
Yeah, I will break your goddamn hip. Exactly. That's
ridiculous.
You will be at my fucking bookcase. You will be in my lab. No one will ever find you. My cask of Monte Alba.
The lab. Doing dubious science at best.
Dubious science.
You're like, it's like The Fly. It's like, what if I...
What are you
fucking mix
Dan,
this
what are
guy?
you doing down here? I was trying to figure out if the diner is giving me if it's actual ginger ale or if it's just Coke and Pepsi mixed together.
So why you dab that guy? Oh, that's a different thing.
Why don't you just see if it has caffeine? Fuck! I've wasted 3 weeks on this.
Oh,
I have all these beakers.
All these beakers. Oh man.
Oh, this is
great.
Oh, I
no,
love
this is
it.
actually fucking fantastic.
This is great.
I'm
my life.
shocked at how much fun I'm having right now.
This is so much better than if we're actually talking about the bird.
Oh, the movie. The movie's fine.
It's great. It's fire. Watch it. It's great.
What's the problem?
You'll love it. And let's cut to the chase. Should this be a remake? Yes.
Yeah.
Like,
Can we get to that part? Yeah.
It absolutely should be a remake. The other one's in French. Okay. And then you have Robin Williams and Nathan Lane. Nathan Lane in his crowning jewel of his fucking career.
Yeah.
Watch it.
I would
good.
say the strong points, we're just at that point, right?
Yeah.
The strong points of the original film are, I think that some scenes, the toast scene, is played a little bit more like straight in the French film, and I think that like there's good aspects to that. I think we get to see a little bit more of this Zaza character. Not too much.
I like that.
But like I thought that was good to see Zaza.
You just see Nathan Lane perform once.
Yeah.
Right? I think, right?
I think so, yeah.
Just once.
Yeah, but like it just, I don't know, it didn't. With what? See, the problem, and it's not even a major problem, is that you want more, right? And not too much more, but like Nathan Lane does this like layout performance. You're like, fuck, I wish I got to see him kind of more in this element. The French film does a little bit more of it, not much more. So like, I don't want to oversell it, and I think that the politics are more understandable in this remake.
Yeah.
I get it in the first
Especially
film.
given the time that it was.
Yes.
I mean, that was a big thing for a very long time, and it's gotten to a different degree now of what conservative and like it's a different animal than it was then. But it was very much like button up and my family values. Family. That was always the goddamn thing. The sanctity of marriage.
Yeah. Well, what's funny, another film that's actually pretty good, I believe it's called Vice, and it's about like Dick Cheney. It's a Christian Bale movie, and there's a part in the film, not really a spoiler, I guess it is, where they have to make a decision when Liz Cheney is running for office. Like, do you like basically reprimand your sister who's gay? You like do like basically disown her so that you can win political office? And when they make that choice, it's so crushing.
Yeah.
And you can see they actually humanize Dick Cheney in this moment, and you could see the toll that it has on him to make this fucked up choice, which he makes anyway. So you know, he doesn't get points.
Granted, this is a movie.
Yeah,
he's literally heartless.
Yeah,
so.
he is literally heartless. But like even then, because this is even later in political cycle, and this is a real world example. You can see that people have to contort themselves into all these knots.
Yeah.
To try to fit into this mold, and like we were talking about politics before, like
it's insane.
All this play theater, like politics is theater.
Yeah, it's complete theater, and like sometimes you can't see the forest through the trees.
Right.
Like when there was like the big what's his name? Herschel Walker.
Oh yeah.
So Herschel Walker, when he was running for senator, it came out as a thing that one of his mistresses had his abortion.
Right.
Like, and he's like denying it. That's not the way you do that.
Right.
You just say, "Yup."
That's exactly what you do. Because guess what? It didn't really hurt.
It didn't hurt him at all. If anything, it gives him experience in that. Like if you're going to be a drug counselor, the guy who's the drug counselor better have been a drug addict.
Well, look at the My Pillow guy.
Yes.
That dude was smoking Krizak.
Yes, exactly. But to Herschel Walker, you just be like, yeah, she wanted to get an abortion. What am I going to tell her no?
Right.
That's her rights. That's what I'm here to change. I wanted to keep that kid. That was what. If you did that, 5-minute story.
Great angle.
But no, once you say no, I never did that.
Yeah, it lacks credibility. You know.
It's one thing to be a hypocrite, but then to be a hypocrite of your own hypocrisy.
Right.
It's absurd now.
Which is like why these films work, because it is comedic.
Yeah.
The guy who had an abortion being like, no abortions, is funny.
Yes.
It's like, what?
Who could never have an abortion. Who has literally no opinion on it because it does not concern him.
It's just such a stupid...
The whole thing is... But also, like, it's... The people who are the most truthful in the movie are them.
Yes.
Literally living their life in this... It's one thing to do it in a time like... If you go down to fucking South Beach now and you're gay in 2023, no one gives a shit.
No one gives
In 1996, that was a different story.
No, like they.
And in 1977, well, maybe not in France, but if you were 1978, whatever it was, that's a different connotations, whole different ballgame. Which, again, not wrong, but you still have. It takes so much more courage,
Right.
to be that person, be openly gay, and they're like, no, they're the most living their true lives, living their best selves, living all these things, and then there's Gene Hackman's character who's saying these political views that he doesn't believe.
Right.
He's doing it because he knows that people dislike that gay lifestyle.
Right.
Or dislike the propaganda, not the propaganda, but the hypocrisy that this
Right.
other senator scandal that developed. So now he's got to be squeaky clean, even though he probably doesn't give a shit, because clearly at the end he doesn't.
And you know, like the propaganda, going to that. Oops, sorry. The propaganda is itself is another commentary on it. Is the fact that like this scandal happened. You're supposed to be a conservative, clean-cut politician.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you're banging underage prostitutes.
Yeah.
And, like
That's always how it goes too.
always.
The guy who speaks up the most about like anti-gay stuff is the
Oh.
one who's fucking a dude.
Always. And I mean, like, it's so funny that, like, these are still happening. There's this guy, I think his name's, like, Matt Schlapp or something like that, who worked on the Herschel Walker campaign, who is accused, credibly, in my opinion, but whatever, of, like, groping male campaign staffers. And it's just like,
Well, who doesn't?
well, I mean, it's 22 and he's hungry.
Yeah, he's hungry.
But, like, yeah.
Doesn't take more than that.
And that's why, like, I think both films still sort of, even in their comedic overtelling of this, still ring true to this day because this shit's still happening. And I think the underlying theme of both films, which is why I think they're both really good movies. If you're an American, just watch The Birdcage because, like,
Yeah, I mean, it's you get the whole thing. You don't need more. And also, I do think The Birdcage might be better.
I think that.
But maybe, but I might be saying that just because I'm more familiar with like it's just our culture.
Sure.
That it's just easier.
Yeah. No, it's 100% easier. I think that what's interesting about it is how they worked our culture into the story.
Yeah.
I think that was really well done, and it's modernized just enough. So yeah, it's the same story, but there's so many little modern elements, and I thought that Nathan Lane's lines at the dinner were really good. Like the abortion line was like really funny because he's leaning into this like conservative, logical thought as the movie's portraying it, but it's like fucking hilarious.
Yeah,
it's stupid
because it's coming from this.
Just kill the mother.
Just kill the mother.
You know,
and even just his nuances of like it's just so
yeah,
it's perfect. It's a great movie.
And to have like Gene Hackman like having to side with his wife and it was like, can't you see? She's great. Like like really just like believing it, leaning into it. It's so funny. It's grounded in just enough reality that like you can take that ride, and it like you were saying, this is the type of film where both of us could be like, this is some horse shit.
Yeah, there's some horse shit.
But they
also
walk that line really well.
I mean, the other thing that would never ever happen, especially if you've known someone that's like that, that's like would judge someone based just around that immediately. That because that's who this person is. Right. That if you said that and then like they put on this whole farce, then told them like, no, that's actually a dude. Yeah. And that person would never be like, oh, well, I was wrong. Right. No. I never. They'd be like, well, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Right. Unless the press is there.
Unless the press is there.
And, you know, again, that in both films, the payoff of putting the person who's judging you, having them have to live a moment in your life.
Yes.
Right? To comedic effect. And, like, ultimately, you being their savior.
Yes.
The person that gets them out of this situation when they tried to put you in a box. Like, it's a great story. It's very simple to follow. Yes. But it's also, like, there's layers to it. And, both films should certainly exist. And I think The Birdcage,
yeah, I think they should exist.
Look, Robin Williams.
Robin Williams, Nathan Lane. And fucking Hank Azaria.
Yeah, that's just funny.
Fucking great.
It's fucking great.
Yeah, and watch it. You can watch it with me from my fucking bookcase lab.
Yeah, the bookcase lab, where you're definitely zapping shit.
Yeah, we were zapping shit. You'll be perfectly safe.
Yeah.
You might electrocute yourself, but that's yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
But we always wear goggles.
Have to.
Have to, and everything we drink is it's got like the
bubbling.
steam, the bubbling.
Yeah, it's
steam.
definitely bubbling.
Like, what am I drinking? Mountain Dew.
It's like a scene in the fucking Nutty Professor. It's purple or green. It's bubbling, and if you drink it, you're gonna become cool and dance.
Of course. Yes, obviously that's how we got it. You should have seen me before.
See, I was
fucking professor.
Before this, I was Stephen Urkel. Now I'm Stefan Urkel.
But now, before this, I was a fucking tenured literature professor. Little overweight, but now I'm just, a vagabond.
Yeah, before this, I was sober. Fucking A. That was a fun film. I don't know how much we talked about it. I don't know. You guys got it. Like, whatever.
You got it. Be yourself.
Yeah, be yourself, man.
That's my takeaway.
Don't change yourself for nobody, dog.
That and get a feather boa.
Yes. Ooh, a feather boa for sure.
Fucking,
you're perfect the way you are.
You're perfect just the way you are.
Unless you suck.
Yeah, you should probably
stop
change.
that shit.
Really fucking ask yourself some hard questions and get some answers,
Mm-hmm.
because you piece of shit.
You garbage.
I don't care how accepting they are at the Birdcage, you will not be accepted.
Yeah, that's true.
You might be accepted at the gym, the Birdcage, when you play basketball for St. Joseph's Preparatory Academy.
Funny enough, one of the we're in New Brunswick. One of the show houses back when I was in school was called the Birdcage. And, yeah, they have all these little secret punk shows in town, and they name all the houses different things, so no one knows where they actually are.
Bunch of
Yeah.
stroke fest.
Yeah, it really is.
Ooh, we're so cool. It's a basement.
It's a basement. You're smoking American spirits.
Yeah, smoking American spirits with fucking. You got a fucking 20 bag of mid-weed in your pocket, and you think you're fucking awesome.
Yeah, you're listening to shit music.
You listen to shit music, sweating your fucking ass off, and if you're me, hitting your head on a nail.
And if you're me, you're not, because being short is actually advantageous at this point.
Especially, and then you can get the fuck out. You weasel your way out.
Nothing worse than hitting your head on a pipe walking down the
Yep.
stairs. I mean, I don't know, but I gotta imagine.
And then you reach, you're too old there to when you finally have the realization, if there's a fire, you're all dead.
Everyone's dying. Yeah.
You don't leave, but you have the thought.
Yeah. It's funny enough. I brought this up down this podcast. In one of those show houses, we actually got to see Macaulay Culkin and his band, the Pizza Underground.
The Pizza Underground.
That was pretty entertaining.
Yes, that's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And then on a side note for that, fucking Buzz's, I don't even remember his real name.
Oh, yeah.
But Buzz, fucking Macaulay Culkin's brother in Home Alone, played a show when I was at my radio station that I worked for. And then the first thing I said was he's like, hey man, let me get a soda. I was like, I would give you a soda if you were growing on my ass. I'll get you one, I'm kidding.
Nice callback.
Thanks.
I bet he loved that.
He didn't.
I know he didn't. Like a conservative politician in a gay club having to wear drag so he can escape from the press. Didn't love it.
Didn't love it.
But we love the film.
We love the film. It was great. 5 out of 5 stars.
5 out of
Whatever. Let's say. I know it's supposed to be out of 4, but
whatever.
I give it 9 thumbs up.
What are we watching next time?
I had the thought that we should watch, that most people don't know it's a remake, but Man on Fire with Denzel Washington.
Wow.
Is a remake of a 1980 movie, Man on Fire, by the same name, based on a book, Man on Fire, with, I can't remember his name, Scott something. The guy that Denzel kills in Training Day in the house.
Oh, wow.
That guy.
Really?
That guy plays the Man on Fire.
Holy shit. All right.
Yes.
Man on Fire.
Man on Fire.
Hey, I'm down.
Can't wait. I'm excited to watch that one. Oh, God. It's phenomenal. A man could be an artist.
There's going to be so many.
Oh, there's so many walk-ins.
If you thought we got off the rails on this one.
Oh, forget
just
it.
You wait.
Now, don't get me wrong. I love The Birdcage, but I could talk for hours about Man on Fire.
That's good. Because, unfortunately, in this case, because the films are so similar, we had so many other things to talk about.
Yeah, fucking literally almost shot-for-shot remake.
Pretty much.
They're pretty faithful.
Yeah.
The only thing that differs is politics.
The politics are different.
And then Zaza.
Zaza.
Zaza, whatever.
Yeah, I just think that, the pure star power. Nathan Lane and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
Really. And Gene Hackman.
And Gene Hackman, yes!
Gene Hackman.
Two-time Academy Award winning Gene Hackman.
It's great.
And two-time Academy Award winning Diane Weiss. And Mrs. Indiana Jones, Callista Flockhart. / Ally McBeal.
How could you go wrong?
How could you go wrong? You guys didn't have a dancing baby screensaver on your fucking Gateway 2000?
I did.
That was everywhere.
No, it was. That dancing baby was a big,
Y2K, nothing
big
happened.
deal. It was going to change, and they fixed it, I think. It was fine.
Yeah.
I remember that New Year's. Huh?
Yeah, I do remember.
Was he famous for that?
Oh, yeah. Yes, I do. That's a callback to before the show, guys.
Yeah, that's just for us.
Yes.
Well, next episode is Man on Fire.
Man on Fire. Find us on, go ahead.
Yeah, at Retro versus Remake. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Twitter, Instagram. All that.
And you can find me at Dan Farley, at Dan Farley 18 on Instagram.
Yeah, you can find me at RP Comedy on Instagram and Twitter. And we got some big things happening.
We got some moves that we're making. Actually, one of them called me in the middle of this.
Oh yeah, really?
Yes.
Night moves.
On the night moves.
Love that. Oh man, this is completely aside. I was listening to "Don't Let Me Down," Bruce, which some people say Bruce.
Yeah.
So that I don't know why you're still listening. Hey, thanks for watching the show.
Thank you very much. Take care. Bye now.
Bye.